Happy Saturday! Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing well on this lovely Saturday morning. Thank you for tuning in. Maybe you're tuning in now live, maybe you watch the videos at another time. Either way, welcome. So let's go ahead and get started. So a few things about today is if you want to put music on, I really encourage that. I love having music. I don't have any on my end of things. You won't be able to hear me. Also, let's grab our props. Maybe you have a block, maybe you have a pillow or a blanket or something that you like. Perhaps you have a yoga strap. You can also even use, if you don't have a yoga strap, another really cool alternative is to take the strap from your robe, and you can use that as well. So very good. So I have a couple of pillows that I use just to kind of begin using to kind of like sit up on the edge of my sit bones and stuff like that. So if you like doing that, so we'll begin actually today seated in a really nice comfortable position on your sit bones. You can take a pillow or a block. You can always sit on the edge of that pillow. Kind of brings a lot of tension off of those knees, and you can kind of begin doing that. So we're going to just begin into this class today or session, kind of grounding ourselves for just a moment. So sitting up nice and tall. Your sit bones are nice and firm. And you kind of imagine that the back and your spine is just very nice and straight. And it's extending all the way up toward the ceiling. And the crown of your head is extending up toward the ceiling. And you can place your hands resting gently onto your legs. And you can even open your eyes, or you can close your eyes. Whatever feels really good to just get you moving into this really super beautiful Saturday. Start thinking about, my friends, what brought you to the mat today? Were you just feeling like, you needed to move a little? You just thought you would check it out on the fly? Whatever that is, just kind of think about that for a moment. And as we progress into the session today, I want you to also think about the rhythm of your breath. So let's say I inhale for a really great count of, I don't know, 6 or 10 or 20. And you lengthen that inhale out. And as you exhale, you're going to have that exact same rhythm. So if I inhale for a count of, say, 10 seconds, exhale for a count of 10 seconds as well. That is the best advice I can give you beginning to work on your breathing technique. Let's go ahead and inhale. Lift those shoulders up. Exhale, drop them down. Inhale them up. Exhale, drop them down. Again, one big shoulder rolling all the way up and relaxing. Take your left hand, place it onto your right knee. You're going to take your right hand. You're just going to gently wrap it around your back. Maybe perhaps it's touching the floor behind you. Or you can even begin to maybe slowly bind that hand around you. But either way, you're going to lengthen up. You're going to press the sit bones into the mat, inhaling up. And then as I exhale, I'm just going to take my gaze comfortably around that right shoulder. Inhaling here, exhale. Don't hold your breath in this pose. Feel the opening. Maybe you just woke up. Maybe you've been up for a long time. Exhale, both hands back to the center. Inhale, both arms up. Interlace those fingers. Exhale, gently lifting the chin up toward the ceiling. Sit bones pressing into the mat. Palms reaching up. One fantastic, delicious stretch here. And extend those hands back. Right hand goes onto the left knee. Same thing with that left hand, right? So it can stay on the hip. It can gently fold behind the back, depending on the tightness of the shoulders and the pec muscles. It can begin to bind, slowly wrapping the fingers around, or it can rest on the mat behind you. Same thing either way. As I push the sit bones into the mat, I lengthen up even more, creating more space and opportunity for a good stretch here and an opener. And then I'm going to take my gaze slowly behind that left shoulder. Again, same thing. Don't hold your breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Lengthening up and release. Today we're going to be doing a lot of opening up the pecs here, bringing these shoulders back, opening up the heart center. I'm sure a lot of us have been kind of maybe scrunched down. Perhaps you've been on the computer a lot working. Remove this pillow if you have one, just set it aside. And as we come up onto the knees, you're going to take this right knee and you're going to just move it in front of the left. Then you're going to move your feet. See, I can see them. And then I'm going to just gently extend my sit bones back to the mat. So I've got my feet in a nice open position. Now if our hips are super tight, and this is not where we are right now for this comfort, you're going to take this right knee off of the left, and I'm just going to move the foot so that it's actually sitting in front. And if this is still slightly uncomfortable, you'll just kind of move it out to the side. But what I'd like you to start doing is start practicing with the comfort and the ease of bringing this over. Okay, again, sitting up nice and tall as you do. So no matter where we are at this moment, I'm going to just sit here for just a moment. Again, you're going to gently extend the sit bones into the mat. You're going to sit up nice and super tall. And then I'll show you, let me flip around here for you, our arms, opening up that shoulder that I just spoke about. You can take your hands and you can gently, bringing the shoulder blades back, place them behind your back like so. Or perhaps they're on the mat gently. The next step would be to see if this right hand can grab the left elbow. See if that left hand can grab the right elbow. Okay? And start practicing that. This is a really, really, really awesome stretch. Getting these shoulders open, getting this heart center open, because that's what we're going to be working on a lot today. Opening ourselves up, creating a lot of space. Breathing into this, sitting up nice and tall. Relax the face muscles. I'm going to gently inhale my chin up. Just gently. I'm going to exhale my gaze forward, gently bringing the shoulder blades together, perhaps just a little more. And then I'm going to gently tuck that chin into the chest. And then I'm going to inhale, lifting up. And then I'm going to exhale, release. And I'm going to inhale all the way up to both of my knees. And I'm going to come all the way up, hands onto the hips. Once you get comfortable here and you find your balance, I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to extend it out. You want to make sure that this right hip stays in line with the right knee. My left leg is nice and stretched out. The toes are gently facing in front of the mat. I'm going to take my left hand and it kind of begins up in the crease of that hip. So I have this palm here. And then I'm going to reach up with the right arm. And I'm reaching. I'm growing. I'm just trying to just totally reach up for that ceiling. And then this palm gently massages that left IT band. You're like, oh my goodness, that feels good. And then you're gonna do it again. You're gonna warm up this muscle. And as you reach up, you're just gonna gently extend just slightly over while keeping the integrity of that right hip in line with the right knee. And then I might just gently take my chin up slightly. And then I'm gonna take that right arm, I'm just gonna fold gracefully over, kind of like a little crescent moon. Breathing deep into the right side that you're opening up. And your next inhale, inhale that right arm up. And then I just kind of gently bring myself down. As I bring myself down, I find myself in this great little kind of position here. So as you can see, that left hip begins to open comfortably. And then if comfortable, my dears, you're gonna see, can you come down just a little? And then my heel is down, my toes are up. I'm just gonna create this really great stretch here. And just kind of come up. You can even open yourself up just a little by taking the hands. I'm just going to extend it just a little over that right. Deep inhale. Exhale, melt. Your next inhale, I'm going to bring myself back, both knees together. So we did the right. So now you need to do the left. I'm going to take this left over that right. And then look, it's like a mermaid tail. You're just going to try to create space behind you. And you're going to safely walk your hands back, gently bringing yourself into a comfortable seated position. Check out the space that you've created behind you. Get a little snug, get a little comfortable. This is a really good pose also to notice the difference of your left side of the body versus your right side of the body. And just like I mentioned on the other side, if this is a place that we're not at today, hips are super tight, it's just not gonna work, bring that foot up and please leave it here. Making sure you press the sit bones in, and please make sure you're sitting up nice and tall and just fine. You can even keep putting a little movement in it, right? Perhaps this doesn't feel good and you just wanna maybe see if you can lift the hip up here, okay? Anything that's going to create a little movement. We're going to put the knee back if that's comfortable. So again, sit nice and tall. Same thing, hands. If you want to put them on your hips, if you want to take the fingers and place them behind your back, bringing the shoulder blades together. If you want to take each hand and it grabs the alternate elbow, and as we do, we bring those shoulder blades together, gently bringing that energy, feeling the pecs open up, feeling the chest open up. Feel that. And your next inhale, inhale, your chin slightly up toward the ceiling. Exhale. The chin slowly and gently tucking it into the chest as the sit bones press into the mat, the shoulder blades come together. Inhale, slowly up. If you have any questions or comments about this pose, always leave them in the comment. We can talk about them later. But you're going to unbind those arms and see if you feel that. See if you feel how you begin to open this up. How does this feel, right? You're like, man, I was tight. I know I'm tight. So we're gonna inhale, back up, okay? And as you inhale, back up, you're gonna slowly bring yourself back to a comfortable position. You're gonna come all the way up. So now we're gonna do the other side. So you're gonna stretch the right leg out, keeping the integrity. You're not this way, you're not this way, but the hip and the knee are in line. If you can see that foot behind you, please move it behind your knee. Palm of my right hand kind of finds the inner hip crease. And then I reach up and I extend with that left arm. Just hold here for just a moment and really start to feel this. Like your body's like this glorious, like the more you open it up, the more space you start to have. And all of that stress and worry, perhaps an anxiety, if you have any, and it's like in this little tight ball and you're just holding on to it, if you just release and let it go as much as you can, it just kind of sets the mood, right, for later in the day. Inhaling, then I'm going to take my palm and I begin to rub it down that IT band and like, oh my gosh, I need a massage. And then you're going to gently rub it down the IT band. You're going to inhale, inhale, reach, 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 exhale, slightly, just a little over, just a little to the right. Then I let this left arm just gently crescent moon over. If you're on wood floors and you have sensitive knees, you can always roll the mat back for extra protection on the knees. On your next inhale, I inhale, back up. Exhale, I put a little bend in this right knee because it kind of brings us in and out of poses really safely, which is almost just as important as the pose itself, right? So then I'm going to see how much fun I can have for just a moment. Be a kid, open the body, move here how you want. The whole point is opening up the hip. And then I might kind of wiggle and play around with this left foot, and I come up on the left foot. And then I drop the right heel down to the mat, and the toes are pointing up toward the ceiling. And I start creating this really kind of open space here for just a moment. You can stay here gazing forward, or you can even kind of walk your gaze over, right? You're just putting a nice opening here in that right side. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, melt. Nice. All right, let's come out of this gently. I'm going to have you bring both of your knees to the mat. You're going to bring your sit bones to the mat, and we're going to go into child's pose. Now, for today or any day, you can always come into child's pose anytime during your session, whatever feels good, okay? So I'm going to gently extend as I sit my sit bones toward the heels. I'm going to bring my stomach to my quads, and then I'm going to take my arms directly behind me, palms up, and I'm just going to melt. Melt, 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 my darlings. Melt into this pose. Let your sit bones just extend back and let go. Folding here for a moment. On your next inhale, you're going to bring your hands up, you're going to bring your gaze up, and then we're going to stretch our toes, and we're going to stretch our calves and our Achilles tendons, and you're going to love this. You're going to curl your toes under, and then you're going to bring your sit bones to your heels. You're going to relax the shoulders down. Now for some, this pose, if it's new, it definitely creates an energy and a fire, and you might be like, this is not fun. You can come in and out of it as much as you like, okay? What's nice about this is it really is kind of opening up those toes and the feet, and it really is kind of opening up the Achilles tendon, stretching into the calves, creating a little more space. You're going to take your hands behind you, interlace those fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift up the heart center. Inhale gently, the chin up toward the ceiling. As I exhale, I'm going to bring my stomach down to the quads. I'm going to slowly and comfortably, leaving my toes curled under, roll into the crown of my head. And I'm just going to let my arms fall over. Breathing here, don't hold your breath. On your next exhale, you're going to exhale the hands back down, okay? You're gonna uncurl the toes. You're gonna widen the knees so that they're as wide as the mat. And your two toes, the feet are touching, okay? And you're gonna extend the sit bones back. Then I'm gonna come onto my fingertips. And I'm gonna extend my arms all the way forward, okay? And you also want to extend the sit bones back as you do, and you lengthen through. Elbows off of the mat. I want you to stretch these arms out. I want you to push your sit bones back. I want you to create a nice opening here through the torso as you gaze at the mat. Continuing to lengthen on your inhale. Continuing to open on your exhale. You're going to walk both arms off to the right side of the mat, okay? And I extend the sit bones back. I gaze at the mat as the arms lengthen through. Reaching, extending. I don't know about you, but I definitely feel a great opening on the left side. Let's bring our hands back to center, walking them over to, now, the left side. And I begin to stretch and open through the right. And then I'm going to come back to center, and you're going to inhale the knees up. You're going to exhale. Yeah, we're doing it. We're coming back. You're going to curl the toes under. Ta-da! Sit your heels. Get it comfy. Tushy is on those heels. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Sitting up nice and tall. Gaze is forward. Interlace the hands behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. I push the hands down. Lift up through the heart center. I take my chin up. Inhale here. Exhale, leaving the toes curled under. Stomach onto the quads as I gently and comfortably roll onto the crown of my head. The arms come over. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale the hands, loosen everything up. I come back up, uncurling the toes. Knees as wide as the mat. I stretch the arms out. I'm going to take my left arm and I'm going to walk it underneath the right. I'm like, bloop, 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 bloop. It keeps stretching and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I gently bring my head to the mat. Right? So right arm is stretched out. Left arm is gently underneath the right. And my face is gently onto the mat. My cheek is resting on the mat where my slight forehead is, or the side of my forehead, I should say. And I'm gazing at the right side. No lazy, inactive pose here, so don't just lay here, right? We're not napping. My palm is down, my fingertips are reaching. I'm feeling a great, lovely stretch in the shoulder. On your next inhale, your gaze forward. Exhale. Right arm, it's walking underneath the left. I'm stretching, and I gently relax down. Again, noticing we're not taking a nap, we're not just laying here. The left arm is extended out, the fingertips are down, okay? We'll take a nap later. Your next available inhale. Both arms to center, exhale. Coming into a great tabletop position. Shake anything out that needs to be shaken out. It's all good. And then you're going to check your body. Wrists and shoulders in line, knees and hips in line. If you see the two toes touching, move them behind your knees. Curl your toes under. I know, I've got a thing for toes this morning, right? So we're going to inhale. Gaze up. Exhale. Slow, slow. Take your time here. Round, lift up. Feel that. Inhale. Slow. Slow. Exhale. Slow through. Inhale, flow up. Exhale, round and lift up. Last one. Inhale, flow up. Exhale, all the way through. And release back to a nice neutral position. In this neutral position, I'm going to take my left toes. I'm going to curl them under. So they're curled down. My heels stretching back. Then I'm going to extend the right arm. Not all the way up, not all the way down. Extending straight out from the shoulder, palm is down. Again, nothing's lazy. Hand is reaching. I'm gazing at the mat. Find a little balance here. Okay, softly gazing at the mat. On the next inhale, I slowly lift that left foot off the mat. The leg is in line. It's not too high, it's not too low. Toes pointing down, heel pushing back. Let's, on our next inhale, create a little movement here. Swish the right arm back. Bring gently the knee toward your forehead as my gaze meets it. Okay? And then when I exhale, I lengthen it back out. Stretch it. Inhale through. Exhale, lengthen. Inhaling through. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale through. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale through. Exhale, lengthen. Extend that right hand down. Extend the knee down. Extend your hands both up. Come into a great strong plank. Wrists and shoulders in line. Your little hips aren't sagging down. Your butt's not up in the air. Nice and even like a table. Okay? Just stare at this mat for just a moment. Create a little burn in the belly. Activate that core. Nice and strong in your body. Let's hold this. You have it for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Back down. Awesome. Okay? So now we're going to do the other side, right? So my right toes are curled under. The heel is pushing back. And I'm just gently staring at the mat for just a moment. Then I'm going to extend that left arm out. Palm down. Extend the right leg up, right? Not too high, not too low. Toes pushing back. Create some balance for yourself. Quiet the mind and think of nothing but the dynamic of this pose for a moment. If you fall, you wobble, it's no big deal. You got a cat, a dog, kids running around. Have fun with it. Don't get frustrated. Have fun with that. You're going to, on your next inhale, swoop that left arm back. You're going to bring the knee toward the gaze. Exhale, stretch and lengthen. Good. Inhale through. Stretch and lengthen. Inhale through. Stretch and lengthen. Inhale through. Stretch and lengthen. And next exhale, you're going to bring hands and knees back. Awesome. Once you extend your hands in a comfortable way, again, back into this really awesome plank, okay? We're going to create a little fire in there, a little strength. Have fun with it. Don't get frustrated. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower all the way down onto your belly. Awesome. Uncurl the toes. Gaze a little forward. Hands gently by your chest. Bring those elbows in. My hands are on the mat, but it's kind of like gently, because I want to start breathing from the belly. And I just want to see, can I lift up from the belly just a little? Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling up. Exhale back. Again, inhaling up. Exhale back. And I'm going to curl the toes under, inhale all the way up, and then you're going to bend the knees, and we're going to extend back into our first downward dog. So in your first downward dog, as you're getting comfortable in this pose, feet are hip-width distance apart. Find where your hands are, making sure they're even so you don't have one paw up a little higher than the other. Nice and in line. Put movement in it. It's our first downward dog. Get creative. If your heels don't touch the mat, that's okay. If you lose your way, and you're like, I'm not sure how my downward dog should be, as your feet are hip-width distance apart, and you're gazing in between the legs, put a great, big, lovely bend in those knees. You're extending back, lengthening through the torso, the crown of your head pointing down toward the mat. Okay, you've got this great, delicious bend. And then you just lift the sit bones back and up and back. Okay? Put a little pedal in the feet if you'd like. Up and down. Take a couple of moments here, feeling this pose. Let yourself relax into it. If you've got music on, groove to it. Again, if you've got cats or a dog that's just licking your face right now, right underneath you, you gotta smile at that. That's pretty cool. I wish I had a dog. I love them. They're so cute. Take a look at your hands. Bring the right knee into the chest. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently create a little movement. Inhale through. Exhale, stretch back. Inhaling through. Exhale, stretch back. Inhaling through. Exhale, stretch back. 2 more times. Inhale through. Exhale back. Inhale through. Exhale back. Now as you exhale, you can stay here or you can stack that right hip onto the left. I put a bend in that right knee. And I'm just going to let myself kind of just fold over. Breathe into all that yumminess. Exhale. You're going to bring that back down. Take a look at your hands. Let's walk into a squat. In this squat position, opening up the hips. You can walk your gaze over to the right. You can walk over to the left. I'm just opening things up. And then I'm going to come to a stillness. I'm going to get my balance here. I'm going to extend both arms out. Inhale. Exhale. Hands down. I'm going to extend and lengthen up into a forward fold. I'm going to slowly come back into squat. On all your forward folds, if you're experiencing lower back difficulty, please put a micro bend or a little bend in your knees. That'll take some pressure off that lower back and discomfort that you might be feeling, okay? Inhale here. Exhale. Forward fold. Slow back into squat. Last one. Inhale here. Exhale. Forward fold. Stretch those toes. And we're going to slowly come back into squat. Good. You're going to extend your hands back. You're going to lengthen back into plank. Again, we're just going to hold this just for a little bit. Stare at that mat. You've got this. You're super strong. Do it, do it, do it. 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees. Extend and lengthen back into downward dog. We've got to do that left side, right? So I'm going to take that left foot off of the mat. I'm going to bring the knee into the chest. I'm going to inhale, lengthen through. Exhale, extend out. Inhale, lengthen through. Exhale, extend out. Inhale, lengthen through. Exhale, extend out. One more time. Inhale, lengthen through. Exhale, extend out. Now, if you'd like, you can stack that left hip on the right, put a little bend in that knee, and you're just kind of gazing over and under that left armpit. On your next exhale, swish that leg back. Take a look at your hands. Yeah, we're back into the squat. Yeah, and we're just gonna put a nice opening here. And again, same thing, opening up. Open, 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 open. Extend the arms out. Find a little balance here. Inhale. Exhale. Forward fold. We're going to stay here in forward fold for a moment. Bend the knees if you'd like. You can put a great big bend in the knees, just like we did with the downward dog, right? Because you start looking at your body. How is it, right? So as I put a bend in my knees, I'm just going to lift the sit bones up. Forward fold. You might even walk your hands up a little, just a little, because you want to leave both feet onto the mat and you feel this like really awesome stretch in the lower legs. And then you might walk a little back, and then you might walk a little forward, and then a little back, and then we're just going to slowly hang. And we're going to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Your gaze is the last thing because you want the blood to come through. Nobody gets dizzy. No passing out. Don't pass out. Don't do it. You're going to take your gaze and you're going to relax. And then you find yourself into Tadasana. Feet hip-width distance apart. Relax the shoulders down. See right now, do you feel a little more tall, a little more stretched out than when we first started the session? Maybe you do. I hope you do. On our next inhale, I'm going to slightly lift all of my toes up as my heels press into the mat. My fingers press down toward the mat. My thumbs are facing forward. And then I'm going to inhale. Lengthen those arms all the way up. Reaching up, chin gently comes up. Exhale, forward fold. Remember what I said. Injuries in lower back, you're going to put a bend here as you lower down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend both knees, extending back into plank. This time you're going to bring your knees slightly down, toes a little bit up. Scooch the sit bones back. Inhale, lengthening through. Exhale. Inhale, downward dog. Take a moment here. How are you feeling? Breathing in. Take a look at your hands. Inhale into plank. We're going to do a fun little series. If you don't find it fun and you're like poo on you, you can go back into downward dog and stay there. Or you can come into the plank. Look at your right elbow. Take the right knee to the right elbow and back out. Take your left knee toward the left elbow. Take a look at it and back out. Strong plank. If you don't want to do that and you want to go into the first series that we did, knee between the hands, you can. Either way, let's do it. Let's rock and roll here. Let's do that for 10 seconds, my friends. So go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back into downward dog. Feel your belly waking up. It feels good, huh? Feels good to me. All right, let's take a look at those hands. We're going to step the left foot in between. We're going to drop and pivot the heel of the right down. So we're in line, left heel's in line with my right heel. I'm going to bring my forearm. But I don't want you just kind of hanging out here, right? I'm lifting up through that heart center. Don't take your gaze anywhere for now. I just want you to feel the subtlety of that. So what I did was I rolled the right shoulder back all the way. You got this nice opening in. Then you bring the arm over. Hand is up at an angle. No lazy hands. Extending out, side angle pose. Inhale here, slow. Exhale, stand. As you stand, arms spread out, hips, chest facing forward. Inhale, slow with control. These are all slow movements, okay? And then you flow up. And release back down in a side angle. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale, flow up. Good. Exhale, back down. Holding here, but not your breath. Gently taking your hands down to the mat. I want you to gaze at this left foot. And then if you want, what happens for fun if I bring both of my hands down? And then I just practice taking the right hand off of the mat. And I lift and I roll that right shoulder up. And I extend that arm up, reaching up. Inhale here. Exhale. Release the hands down. Move the hands. Let yourself come back into a strong plank here. I know. Let's hold it. Let's do it for 5 seconds this time instead of 3. Okay? Gently stare at the mat. Strengthening the core. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend back into downward dog. Take a moment here. Next inhale, inhaling into plank. We're going to repeat that series, gazing comfortably at the mat. And again for 10 seconds, finding what you would like to do with the core. We're going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to release back into downward dog. I just want to see if you're listening, so I put in an extra 3 for fun. So we extended the left foot, so now we're going to do the right. I bring the right foot in between the hands, and then if you want for a moment, you're like, oh, that feels so good. I'm going to stretch back into a high lunge. Stretch that leg back, drop, and pivot that heel. Look down. How's everything going down there? Heel upon heel. Then you're going to bring this right forearm. Again, the same thing. You're not just like hanging. Before you take your gaze and arm anywhere, lift up. Roll the shoulder blade inward. Roll the shoulder back. Then I bring the arm overhead. Fingers reaching, extending up. Gently lifting the chin and gaze up. Nice. Inhale, strong and up. Exhale, flow through. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, flow through. Inhale up. Exhale through. Take a moment here and hold, but not your breath, finding either comfort or slight discomfort in this pose. And if you find discomfort, find where is that discomfort. And next exhale, gazing at that leg, bringing hands comfortably down. If you want, same thing. I just move both of my hands down, and then I'm like, okay, my right's resting inside of that right leg. And then I bring the left hand off the mat, and I lift up, same thing, shoulders inward. Then I extend and lengthen up, pushing the energy back into my left heel. Inhale here. Exhale. Slowly release. And as I do, I pivot and I move my foot and I extend back into, I know, your favorite, the plank. And we're going to hold here for a moment. And then we're going to slowly, with the most delicious control, you're going to come down onto your stomach. Control, control, control. And down you go. Bring the elbows in. I want to see what's going on here. Let's check in. Inhale, lengthen up a little. Exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, come back down. And now we're just going to inhale up. And I'm going to bring my knees toward my hands. And then I'm going to bring myself to the mat. I hope everyone is doing well. We doing good? Yeah. What do we got here? Oh, hello, Aleph, Vanessa, Gloria. Cool. Take your feet to the mat. Sit bones onto the mat. Bring the shoulder blades together, lifting up nice and tall here. I'm going to roll slightly back. If you're on a wood floor and you find a little discomfort here, you can roll the mat back. And I'm going to inhale the feet up. And I'm going to extend and exhale here. Hold for about 5 seconds, but not your breath. Work on that belly. Work on control here. If you shake and quiver, fall, come out of it. Just laugh, smile. Don't get frustrated. And we're going to bring our hands and feet back down. Bring your 2 feet together. Nice and tall through the sit bones and through the torso. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, press the sit bones into the mat. Inhale up. Bring your feet to the mat. As always, with everything we've been doing, if we're new and working on some of these techniques, you can come in and out of poses. You can come in and out of this as much as you like until you start feeling a little strong in the belly. That's what's pretty cool about this. And then once you start feeling strong into that, if you want to say, well, what does it feel like to stretch the legs out? And maybe it's one leg at a time. You're like, okay, I've got this. And you're like, what happens? You're like, okay. And you start bringing him in and out, extending in and out. So let's try that. Just a few seconds, bringing it in and out, gently. One more time. And back. Cool. Bring the 2 feet together. Lift up nice and tall. Inhale here. Exhale, pressing the sit bones into the mat. I'm not lunging down. I'm actually extending forward just slightly. And then the hands can either stay on the feet or they can walk out toward the mat. And then I walk my fingers just a little more and maybe a little more. And then I'm like, oh, I'm stretching. And then you take your gaze down. Let's walk our feet and hands. Let's come to a nice, where the legs are extended straight out. You're sitting up nice and tall. As you sit up nice and tall, bring those shoulder blades together. Legs are extended out, toes are up, heels are down. Your gaze is soft and forward. Reflecting here. And then just release all of that tension for a little movement. Shake it out. We're gonna actually roll down onto our back, feet off the mat, hands on the knees. Let your lower back breathe and open here for a moment. Breathing and relaxing. I'm going to take my hands on the backs of my legs. I'm going to roll into a deep knee hug, and then I'm going to extend back out. And then I'm going to do that again, and then I'm going to extend my legs all the way up. They don't need to be straight up. They can be a little low. You can even have a bend in your legs. It's all good. I just want you to have this sensation of your legs extended up. Put movement into it. Bending both the knees. But for now, find a little pause. And next inhale, inhaling just up, exhale, bend the knees to the chest. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale, flow up, exhale back. Inhaling, flow up, exhale back. And just release. Let your hands slide into the insides of your legs as you open them up. Hips nice and open. Put a little rock from side to side if you'd like, or be still. Your next inhale, take your feet down to the mat. You can stay here, whatever's most comfortable. Or you can extend and stretch yourself all the way out. Release and let your body just fold and melt into the mat. Imagine that you're just weightless and you're floating in water perhaps, but you are just very light. Relax your facial muscles. Open up your mouth a little so that your jaw is not clenched, causing tension headaches. Take some breaths here. A moment of gratitude, a moment of silence, if possible. You can stay in this pose, Shavasana, as long as you like. I encourage it. For those that need to go, take your feet to the mat, knees up toward the ceiling. Then you'll roll over to the right side of the mat. You'll stay here for a moment, a brief pause, and then you'll lift yourself all the way up into a really nice seated position. Once you find yourself in this seated position, we find we're ending how we began. For a moment, really, truly, and honestly see if you feel just slightly different, meaning maybe physically, maybe emotionally, perhaps, than how you began. And taking that little micro change of lightness in your body and attitude, perhaps you can carry that with you for the rest of your day. Let's take our arms, inhaling up. Exhale your hands to your heart center. Take a moment to bow in honor of yourself and all of the efforts that you do. And slowly release. What a beautiful Saturday. The sun is shining through. I've got some great sun coming through. My plants are loving it. I'm very happy that you guys joined in today for this Facebook Live. Leave comments if you like. If you have any questions, you can leave them into the comments and I will look at them. Again, have a beautiful day. Enjoy. And I'll see you guys soon. All right, bye.